bad thing. It's a good thing. It has hope and purpose and future. In the next verse, Jesus says in John chapter 10, Jesus says, my purpose is to give life in all its fullness. You're not really living until you're connected to God. You're just existing. You were made for so much more than get up in the morning, go to work, come home, watch TV, go to bed, party on the weekend. Jesus said, you're not really living. I came to give you life in its fullness. The key to your fulfillment in life is knowing your purpose in life. The next verse, Romans 8:28, the Bible says this, we know that in all things, God works for the good of those who love him, who've been called according to his purpose. When you're living out the purpose you were created for, that God made you for, God says, I'm going to bring good even out of the bad stuff in your life. I'll take even the dumb stuff, even the bad decisions I make, even my mistakes, even my sins. He says, I'll figure that all out. I'll work it all out for good in your life because you're going for my purpose. That's a great thing. That's a great news. And then he says this, in Mark chapter 8, Jesus says, if you insist on saving your life, you're going to lose it. In other words, you're going to go with your plan, you're going to go with God's plan. If you insist on saving your life, you'll lose it. Only those who give away their lives for my sake and the good news will ever know what it means to really live. He's saying, your plan is going to lead you to frustration. You're going to lose. By the way, how's that going for you? You've been going on your plan for your life. How's that working out for you? You totally fulfilled? You totally satisfied? Life's everything you want it to be? God says, no. You go with my plan, then you're going to know how to really live. But you can't go with your plan and God's plan at the same time. You got to decide which one you're going to go for. Your purpose in life or God's purpose in your life. You were made for so much more. And he says, only if you give your life away will you ever know what it means to really live. What's he saying there? You're not ready to live till you know what's worth dying for. Do you know what you'd die for in life? If you don't, you're not really ready to live. After the resurrection, first tens of thousands, then hundreds of thousands, then millions of people became followers of Jesus Christ. Of course, as I said, now billions today. This scared the Roman Empire because millions of people were becoming followers of the resurrected Jesus Christ. There were just too many eyewitnesses, and it scared them to death. So the Roman Empire started what was called the Great Persecution. And for the first 300 years of Christianity, it was illegal to be a Christian. And if you made the decision to say, I'm going to become a follower of Christ, you were more likely to be fed to lions in the Colosseum or crucified yourself or beheaded. It meant ultimately probably certain death. People were signing their own death warrant by saying, I'm going to become a follower of Christ. Why did they become followers? Because of the hope. All the things we've just covered. All but one of the original 12 guys, original disciples, every one of those guys were murdered except one, John. Stephen was stoned to death. James was beheaded. Peter was crucified upside down. Paul was in prison in Rome, and then he was executed. I want you to listen to the last words of Paul right before he goes to execution. He says, I've fought the good fight. I've finished the race. I've kept the faith. This is the kind of attitude. Christians were fearless in the face of death. Why? Because they knew there was more to life than just here and now. You know what baffled the Roman Empire was how unafraid Christians were to die. Paul says it like this, for me to live is Christ and dying